What was the hardest part of turning this and all the research that you have done into that tool that we can use, especially under pressure? I mean, a lot of kennels and daycares and even grooming, it is so stressful for a lot of animals coming in. And I know my guys hate going to the vet. They like the vet, they just don't like going to the vet.
Oh, that's such
They know.
Mhm. That is such a great segue for me to say that we need to have every profession now needs to be a science-informed profession. Groomers, shelters, I mean, even veterinarians, you would think that they would be very knowledgeable about hearing health, but it's not addressed enough
Mhm.
in their education. So the next generation needs to adopt science as part of their profession because what I'm doing in my end of it is to create a higher standard of care. And I think the whole, I just came from the VMX Veterinary Expo, and the whole industry is focused on the sensory experience of the animal, not just the medication, et cetera, et cetera. So the sensory experience from the time that they enter, well, let's talk about your experience of trying to get your cat to the vet. So only 23% of pet cat owners bring their cat to the vet. Only
Right.
23%.
Yeah. That's
And I
minimal.
I had cats for 15 years, and I had a cat named Oliver, and I used to put him in once I got him into the carrier. I swear to God, all the way in the car, he would say the word horror. I used to say, I used to hear him say horror, horror. Um, and and so my focus this year is on cats and helping the industry, the veterinary industry, getting more cats in the exam for their own for cat health and welfare. And so I recommend the music, which is it's not a playlist, it's not entertainment. I hope I've made that
Yep.
clear. It
Yep. Yep.
has a measurable and repeatable effect.
Hmm.
And it's species specific. So the music for cats should be for your cat, for dogs and horses, etc. And so the vision that people should have is okay, I'm going to play the music. I'm going to have the carrier open. My cat is going to go into the carrier. You continue because that lowers the cortisol level before the cat
Yep.
gets to the veterinarian. And you know,
And then there's that stressful car ride and
yes, and it minimizes.
going out the door.
Right, but the music is the environment that will physiologically lower cortisol level. And then the veterinarian should have the music playing in the exam room, of which many do. And that will also help the environment. And so then the pet parent, the cat, and the veterinarian are not responding to their own fight or flight behavior because
Yep.
it's the three in the room.
Are working together.
They're, yes, you either work together or you're all stressed together.
So that's really interesting that you should say that, because I mean that is really training multiple people at once to do this simultaneously for this process to work. So that's really complex.
Not really, because it's because it's
From a systems point of view, but
yeah.
yeah.
And that's the whole point of it, is that
Okay.
it's a non-invasive, subtle, uh, acoustic environment that's great for the cat, which triggers the human and the vet to
Yeah.
calm down. And the music actually has an effect on humans. I mean, I have many wonderful stories. And in the early stages, women, I'm sorry to say this, but women used to say, "Do you have one for husbands?" Um, but it really has an effect on the human body. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Amazing.
because in the music is not what is exciting. It doesn't have a big scope. It's not Beethoven.
Right.
You can't just because it's classical music doesn't mean that it's calming for for an animal because it's not designed for animals. So I created a category. It's called pet music.
And it is just for them. And you have created, you have composed it, you have made this into a global grow. I mean, yeah, it's very eye-opening. Very eye-opening to see. And that chart at the very beginning, show us that chart one more time, because that chart at the beginning showing those differences. And I'm gonna say, because we're gonna have to wrap up here shortly, but yes, that Janet, also you've had a couple, you have a book. I know you just wrote your book. We talked about it a little bit earlier. About the equines and their, so that's a whole other story. Might have to have you come on just to talk about the horses.
Would love to. Love to. I have a series. What dogs here, what cats here,
Cats
what
here,
horses
yeah.
here. Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. So, you know what, for everyone out there, I think this should be in every grooming shop, because I know, working in grooming shops for the last 30 years, it can be an extremely stressful environment.
Oh,
And the dogs coming in are, some of them, it is part of their being, but not all of them.
no.
And just to be able to make that a little bit easier for them, and that
Mhm.
transition into the shop
Mhm.
easier. And a lot of times we do know it is the parents coming in that they are nervous about too.
That's why
But
they should be
the
playing the music
for
we
everyone
in the in
involved. Yeah.
yeah.
And is that it, show? That's one of the,
Well, this is one of the speakers.
okay.
And it's preloaded with an SD card. There's all kinds. And then there's one that's larger. This is called the Pet Tunes Pro. This could fill up a whole kennel. Yeah. And then we have the app on
Yep.
which is downloadable. I mean,
And you have a lot of information on your website. So,
yes,
for
yes.
anyone looking for this, you can find Janet one more time at
.com.
petacoustics.com. .com. This has been amazing. Janet, I just want to say thank you so much for showing, for coming on and doing this. I mean, it takes something to be innovative in a world that sometimes does not embrace things easily. You have done a fantastic job, and this is something that everyone needs to really look at and consider for their businesses. And especially, I think, how to get it into more places, into the shelters. I can just, that just breaks my heart thinking about that. Oh my gosh. But for everyone watching, hey, today's conversation is definitely a reminder that businesses, and that the business of pet care is not just about tools or techniques. It is about understanding the animals that we work on a deeper level, and creating the environments where they feel safe as well. I'm Dara Forleo. Thank you again, Janet, for coming. And this has been the Business of Pet Care, where better care meets smarter business.